Ever wonder how some people seem to build wealth that lasts, for generations? Well, a lot of the time, it's not just about saving. It's about owning things that make you money. Welcome to Brick by Brick, where we help beginners build wealth through real estate one property at a time. Today, we're breaking down exactly how to buy your very first income property.
Now, that's a pretty bold statement, right? But honestly, history backs it up. Real estate isn't just about owning a piece of dirt. It's a seriously powerful tool for financial freedom. Think about it. You get cash flow coming in every month, the property itself is growing in value, and you get some major tax benefits. It's like a triple threat for building a solid financial future.
And that is the million-dollar question. Because let's be real, for every success story you hear, there are a bunch of horror stories too. Buying an income property, it's a business decision, plain and simple. And if you get it wrong, it can cost you a lot. So the key isn't to avoid all the risks. That's impossible. It's about knowing what they are and managing them smartly.
And that's exactly what we're going to walk through in this explainer. We've got a super clear 5-step roadmap. It's going to take you all the way from getting your bank account ready to finally handing those keys over to your first tenant. Okay, first things first. Before you even think about looking at properties online, the most important step is getting your own financial house in order. This is the foundation for everything else. If this part is shaky, the whole thing could just fall apart. So, let's talk cash. How much do you really need? Well, for a property that's purely an investment, lenders aren't messing around. They're going to want to see a down payment of at least 15 and honestly more like 20% of the price. This just shows them you're serious and that you've got some real skin in the game. All right, next up, your credit score. Just think of this as your financial report card. The higher the score, the better the loan you're going to get, which means a lower interest rate. And a lower rate means your monthly payment is smaller, which puts more cash right back into your pocket every month. You really want to be aiming for a score above 700. If you can get over 730, you're in a fantastic spot. Now, you might be thinking, whoa, 20% is a lot of money. And you're right, but there's a really popular workaround here. It's called an FHA loan. This could let you put down as little as 3.5%. And listen up, this is a big but. There's a catch. You have to live in one of the units of the property for at least 1 year. It's a strategy called house hacking, and it's a brilliant way to get started. Look, the most important thing at this stage is just to know your budget. So go talk to a couple of lenders. Get pre-qualified. This is just a casual chat where you give them your financial snapshot and they give you a rough idea of what you can afford. The best part, it doesn't require a hard credit pull, so it won't hurt your score. It just gives you a realistic price range so you know what you're hunting for.
Okay, finances are lining up. Now the hunt is on. This is where you really need to put on your detective hat. Doing your homework, your due diligence, this is what separates the smart investors from the ones who are just hoping for the best.
For most beginners, it usually comes down to one of these two. A condo can be great because it's low maintenance, the homeowners association, the HOA, handles all the outside stuff. But those HOA fees can really bite into your profits, and their rules can be super strict. On the other hand, a single-family home gives you total control and tends to attract longer-term tenants, like families, which usually means more stability for you. And remember, the house itself is only half the battle. The neighborhood is everything. You want to look for an area where the job market is growing, crime is low, and the schools are good. Check out what's nearby, parks, restaurants, stuff like that. And please check the vacancy rates. A neighborhood with a ton of empty units is a huge red flag.
You know, all the online data is great, but don't ever underestimate just walking the block and talking to people. Nothing beats a real conversation. Homeowners might paint a pretty picture for you, but the people who are actually renting there, they have zero reason to lie. They'll give you the real story on everything from noisy neighbors to bad landlords. Okay, so you found a promising property, it's in a great neighborhood. Now it's time to take off the detective hat and put on your accountant visor. This is the part where we make sure the deal actually makes you money.
This right here, this is the most important number in your entire world as an investor. Cash flow is the lifeblood of a rental property. It is the profit you put in your pocket every single month. If a property doesn't have positive cash flow, it's not an asset, my friend. It's a liability. It's a money pit.
So, how do you figure it out? It's actually pretty simple math. First, you hop on sites like Zillow or Rent.com and see what similar places are renting for. Then, use an online calculator to figure out your estimated monthly mortgage. And then, and this is key, you subtract all your costs, the mortgage, taxes, insurance, and always set aside some money for repairs. Whatever is left over, that's your cash flow.
This is the absolute golden rule. It is so easy to fall in love with a property, the nice kitchen, the big backyard, but you have to take the emotion out of it. This is a business. You're not buying your dream home, you're buying a machine that's designed to make you money. The numbers on the spreadsheet are the only thing that matters. Period.
The numbers work. You're ready to pull the trigger and make an offer. Now we're in the final stretch, just getting this deal across the finish line.
When you write up that offer, this is your secret weapon, your superpower. An inspection contingency basically says, my offer is good if a professional inspector says the place is in good shape. This is your get-out-of-jail-free card if they find some huge problem, like a busted foundation or a roof that's about to collapse. Whatever you do, do not waive this, ever.
See that inspection report? It gives you all the power. If it turns up some problems, you've got three main options. You can ask the seller to fix everything before you close, or you can negotiate a lower price so you can fix it yourself. Or if the problems are just too big, you can walk away completely and get your deposit back. You are in the driver's seat.
So, congratulations, you closed the deal, you got the keys, but this isn't the end. Not even close. It's the beginning, because now you're not just an investor anymore. Now you're a landlord.
It is so important to understand that the rent check you get is not all profit, not by a long shot. As you can see, a huge piece of that pie goes straight to the mortgage. Then you've got property taxes, insurance, and you have to put money aside for when things break, because trust me, things will break. Your actual profit is just that little slice that's left over at the end.
And now you have a big decision to make. Are you going to do this yourself or hire a pro? If you self-manage, you save money for sure, but it's going to cost you time, and it means you're the one getting a call at 2 a.m. about a clogged toilet. A property manager, they handle all of that for a fee, usually around 8 to 12% of the rent. It's the classic trade-off, your money versus your time and your sanity. So let's just boil this all down to the essentials, the golden rules. Number 1, always run the numbers first. 2, build your team of pros. A good agent, lender, and handyman are worth their weight in gold. 3, have cash set aside for surprises. And 4, remember that doing your research is the absolute best way to protect yourself.
We've laid out the entire path for you, from checking your credit score all the way to finding your first tenant. You have the roadmap. The information is all here. So the only real question left is, what's your first step going to be?